Hey guys, it's been a long time since I've put up a video. Just had a lot going on in my life, a lot of different stuff, but the reason I'm making this video right now is because recently I came across something I just needed to talk about. Recently, last week, this book was released, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Not a book, it's a play, it's a script, which a lot of people bothered by. I'm not bothered by that, read fine. But I found a lot of notes. I need to talk about this. Felt the urge. First off, it is a script. A lot of people bother by that. I think that's fine. It read smoothly for me. Took me only a few hours to read. 4 acts. Decent length. I thought it was fine. The format, at least. Story, however, first things first, just start reading into it. It is obvious that J.K. Rowling had barely anything to do with this story. Painfully obvious. The writing is completely different. The characters feel different. She's completely involved. Her name's nice and big right there. It's a lie. She's basically a producer as far as I can tell. This review will have spoilers in it, just so you know. I'm going to just go right on into it. So it starts off with where we left off in the books, with Harry dropping Albus off in his first day for school, getting on the train. Which I rewrote the dialogue for that scene for some reason. I'm not sure why. It was already written out. But okay. First thing that happens is Albus gets on the train and immediately becomes friends with Draco Malfoy's son, Scorpius. Which is okay. Predictable in my opinion, but Alexi. Yeah. Anyhow, what happens is Albus isn't Slytherin. He gets sorted into Slytherin. That's my first big issue with the book or play, because that makes no sense to me. Albus shouldn't be in Slytherin, not according to the things that we know about the hat and what Harry just told Albus, within the fact that you can choose your own house if you want to. So it doesn't make sense that he would end up in Slytherin, because he would choose Gryffindor in his head. Or anything but Slytherin. The idea was he was like Harry, that he would be thinking, not Slytherin, not Slytherin. He was worried about getting sorted into Slytherin. Why would he end up there? We know for a fact that the hat takes your opinion into account, because it did that with Harry. It did that with Hermione. You may assume it did that with Sirius Black. Doesn't make sense to me. As soon as he gets sorted, we skip a good 3 years, and suddenly Harry and Albus have a terrible relationship. Albus hates Harry for some bizarre reason. It's not really explained very well. But Albus is best friends with Scorpius. He's not very popular. One of the biggest issues of this book is that Albus is a whiny brat. It's obnoxious and annoying. I can't stand his character. It's annoying. Anyhow, they can't get along, Albus and Harry. And it's like the day before he goes into his 4th year, Albus, they get into a fight. Harry goes to try and give him his baby blanket for reasons. It's the weak plot point that comes back later at the end. And they get into a fight. Harry says things he doesn't mean. It's important. Then it's like the next night or at some point, Albus overhears Harry talking with Amos Diggory. Amos Diggory has heard rumors, correct rumors, that a time turner has been discovered, and he wants to use that to go back and save Cedric. Which, why would he not? But Harry knows it's dangerous, and he says that he lies and says that they haven't found one. But Albus knows it, realizes that's not true. That's actually a scene I skipped over. That they confiscated a time turner from a Death Eater, not. Harry found it, which I like that. It makes sense that there's still time turners out there that weren't in the Department of Mysteries. But rather than destroy it, they decided to keep it in Hermione's office because Hermione is now the Minister of Magic. I have no idea why she's not the Minister of Magic. She's never shown any interest in being the Minister of Magic. I'm pretty sure J.K. Rowling has sent you into magical law. So I've got no idea why she's now the Minister of Magic. My opinion is just her transformation into full-on Mary Sue. Now, Albus decides that he's going to help Amos and his niece, Delphi, go back in time. He's going to steal the time turner from Hermione. So he and Scorpius have to escape from the train. It's one of the most ridiculous moments in the play. So we find out that the candy lady, when pushing a trolley, I don't know anything about a trolley. From what I interpreted, she's like a physical embodiment of the train that's there to keep children on the train until they reach their destination by any means necessary. And now she can like throw pumpkin pasty bombs and let's see. Yes, here it is. Her hands transfigure into very sharp spikes. The hell? This most bizarre, out of nowhere scene. Inserted to put action in there, and it makes no sense whatsoever. I hate it. So Albus, Scorpius, and Delphi use Polyjuice to sneak into the Ministry of Magic because they just had Polyjuice potion on hand. Not sure why you would have that, but and they use it to turn into Harry, Ron, and Hermione. So they can sneak into Hermione's office. Except they run into Hermione, so Albus, as Ron, has to distract her so they can get into the office. Which is an uncomfortable scene where he keeps getting too lovey and weird. Not a fan of that moment. They get into the office, and turns out the time turner is hidden behind a enchanted bookcase. Hermione's security is an enchanted bookcase unlocked by answering riddles. If you don't answer in time, the bookcase eats you. That just sounds so un-Hermione. Hermione doesn't go for the kill. She goes for the pain. She wants to humiliate you. I mean, this is a girl that put warts on a girl's face, or pimples on a girl's face, when she gave away about the secret club. Bookcase just seemed weak. They get the time turner, and they go to Hogwarts grounds. There's a time turner. This version can travel back through years, but not space. So it have to be exactly what they want to be. So their plan is to go back to the Triwizard Tournament and sabotage him so sabotage Cedric so he doesn't win, touch the cup, and gets transported and killed by Voldemort. Yeah. Their initial plan is to go back to the first task and disarm Cedric, disarm his wand, so he doesn't do well in the first task, and somehow it's going to make him not win the Triwizard Tournament. To which I say they do not understand how the Triwizard Tournament works. The first two tasks, all they do is decide who's going into that maze first in the third task. All of those established. Doing badly does not disqualify. You don't get disqualified for not doing well in the task. It makes no sense. Then we get two of my favorite lines in the whole play. Where was it? Yes. Scorpius. Okay, 2 points. First point, we're certain the dragon won't kill him. Delphi. It's always 2 points with him, isn't it? Of course it won't. This is Hogwarts. They won't let damage happen to any of the champions. They won't let damage happen to any of the... Do you know anything about A, Hogwarts, or B, the Triwizard Tournament? So the point of the tournament was that it was dangerous. That was the idea. That you're putting your life at stake. Well, not your life, but that you could get hurt. B, Hogwarts is one of the most unsafe schools ever. I mean, you talk about being great and all, but people are attacked and horribly injured on a regular basis there. But yeah, to be fair though, what they should have said was that Charlie and his people were there to protect them, protect the champions and everybody else from the dragons in case something went wrong. That's what they should have mentioned. And my second favorite line is Scorpius. Okay, second point, more significant point. We're going back without any knowledge of whether we can travel back afterwards, which is exciting. Maybe we should just try going back an hour, say, first, and then... Delphi, I'm sorry, Scorpius, we've no time to waste. You have a time turner, and you're saying you've got no time to it. You have all the time in the world. You have a handheld time machine. Of course you can test... Anyway. So... Oh, while this is going on, Harry is somehow, for some reason, having prophetic dreams. And they're acting like this happened before, and it never did. He never had prophetic dreams. He had dreams of what was going on exactly at that moment with Voldemort, but he can never dream into the future, which he's doing here somehow. God knows how. But anyhow, Harry and the others have been alerted to the fact that Scorpius and Albus have gone missing, and now Harry somehow realizes where they are, and they're going after them. So the plan is, so Albus and Scorpius travel back. Delphi doesn't go because they feel that she'll be too conspicuous, being older than the other students. They go back wearing Durmstrang robes because they think if they're dressed as Hogwarts students, they'd be expected to be recognized, which I disagree with. It's a big school. Now they wear the Durmstrang robes and run into Hermione back when she was 14 and act as conspicuous as possible because they're dumb. And then they succeed in sabotaging Cedric. They disarm him using Expelliarmus. And then it turns out time turner only works for 5 minutes, and it brings it back, and it injures you for some reason. Why does it injure you? I don't know. It just does. We get back. Albus gets his leg broken, I believe, and passes out and wakes up in the hospital wing with Harry to find out that the world has changed. Cedric's still dead. still want to try Wizard Tournament because, like I said, doesn't stop you from moving on. You still had every chance possible to get to that cup. But now in this world, because Hermione saw them earlier, she's now suspicious of Durmstrang students and does not go to the Yule Ball with Krum. Instead goes with Ron. They have a good time, and then Ron starts dancing with Padma Patil, and they fall in love and had a kid. Hermione ends up alone and bitter in a defense against the dark arts teacher. I have absolutely no idea why suddenly she's a defense against the dark arts teacher instead of Minister of Magic. I'm not sure why being with Ron affects that. But now Albus has now caused his cousins to not exist. He's now in Gryffindor for some reason. Unexplained, he's now in Gryffindor. Which contradicts what they set up. But whatever. So they decide to go back again, this time to the second task. Because that's solving anything. To try and save Cedric again. And this time they're going to humiliate him, and they... Okay, first off, to get there, they go into Mona Merrill's bathroom and ask her how to get from there to the lake. She tells them that this pipe in the sink will take them there, and they somehow teleport through that. I know the Basilisk could travel through their pipes in Hogwarts. And how they can fit in there, I'm questioning, how freaking big are the pipes in the plumbing in Hogwarts? Why are they this big that humans and giant snakes can fit through them? It's baffling. Yeah, they go into the lake, travel back to the second task, and use an engorgement charm on Cedric's bubblehead charm. That stupid mask thing from the movie. It's a bubble. And it lifts him out of the water and humiliates him out of the tournament. Because they go back, and now they've created the most ridiculous apocalyptic future ever. So now what happened is they humiliated Cedric out of the tournament, and he became a Death Eater. Clearly we're missing something happened between point A and point B. Is that just dumb? So because Cedric became a Death Eater, he then killed Neville before Neville could kill the snake, which meant that Harry died in the Battle of Hogwarts. Which is confusing, because that means Harry was dumb enough to go up against Voldemort without killing the snake. I feel like the snake could have still been destroyed by many different ways. Even in the movie, they tried with the fang. Okay, so Harry's dead, and now Albus no longer exists, which makes no sense because he should still be an observer from his own timeline. But he's gone, now it's just Scorpius. And now Umbridge is headmistress of Hogwarts, and Snape lived through the battle. You know, he's been demoted to Potions Master again. No freaking idea why. And now we've got ridiculous stuff such as... let's see here. There's Muggle-born death camps now. So you just had to hit it right in the nose with the Hitler metaphor. They torture Muggle-borns in the dungeons of Hogwarts. Not sure where they got these Muggle-borns from. People go around singing for Voldemort and Valor. So they toast to. It's just dumb. Scorpius is now popular. Goes by the nickname Scorpion King. Which is so ridiculously stupid. It just makes me think of Dwayne Johnson. CGI Dwayne Johnson. There's also a blood ball, which is so inanely stupid. What? Am I missing something about the apocalyptic feature? I think that's it. Well, I'll get into more details of it. Come along. Scorpius goes to Snape, manages to convince him that he is from a different timeline. And so Snape just has a secret passage out into the grounds, into the grounds from his office that I'm pretty sure Harry would have known about with his map. We would have heard about that, which means he had to have built it later on, which means nobody noticed him building a secret passage. No, if you have a passage, and not important. Snape is now working with the Rebellion, which consists of Ron and Hermione, who are not together. Not sure why they're the only people in the Rebellion, but whatever. God, I hate Snape in this. He's too annoyingly good. That is not how Snape is. Snape is an asshole. That's who he is. I hate the sympathy towards Snape. I hate the stupid always crap. I've never liked Snape. I've never forgiven him. I respect him. I do not forgive. But now he's pretty much like Mad-Eye Moody for some reason. Okay, so the Rebellion is Hermione and Ron hiding out in the Shrieking Shack. Like the worst hiding place ever. So Scorpius explains what's going on. They take the Time Turner, and they first go back to the first task and stop him from disarming Cedric, which changes nothing for some reason. Not sure why they bother to go to the first task anyway, just go straight to the second task. So now you go back there and stop that. Undoing everything. Time travel done. So Scorpius lies and says the Time Turner was lost in a lake, but really he just wants to make sure it's destroyed. And actually, before that, let me rewind back to a moment during the second alternative timeline where Harry decides that he can't trust Scorpius, doesn't want always hanging around him, and has McGonagall, who's still the headmistress somehow. You know, J.K. Rowling said she wouldn't be at that time. She's beyond too old. Yeah, he gives her the Marauders map to spy on them, which I think she would have so many questions about that and want it destroyed, at the very least. But, you know, he tells her to keep them away or he'll bring down the might of the Ministry upon her. And God does not hear me because McGonagall would not take that shit. There we go. Whatever. Another important plot point going on is there's a rumor that Malfoy and his wife, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, couldn't conceive. So his wife went back in time with a Time Turner and had a baby with Voldemort, and Scorpius is his son. Now, there's a rumor going around in this world that Harry won't deny because he's apparently not sure of that. There's our Time Turners out there. That's an important thing throughout because Malfoy wants him to publicly say that this isn't true. Okay, but now Albus and Scorpius meet up to destroy the Time Turner, and Delphi meets up with them. But it turns out, this is the stupidest thing in the whole play, Delphi is not Amos Diggory's niece, but in fact is Voldemort's daughter. His daughter they had with Bellatrix. She was born just before the Battle of Hogwarts at Malfoy Manor. Which is dumb. So dumb. Turns out she had been using Confundus charm on Amos to make him think that he was her daughter. Just dumb. Just dumb. So she takes the Time Turner and goes all the way back to 1981. Oh, to reveal how Harry and the others find out is that she has this thing with Parseltongue It's like a lamp and parts of tongues coming out of it, and it says open, and it unlocks all this stuff, and she just wrote on the ceiling that she's Voldemort's daughter, which is retarded. Now, they go back to the third task first, actually. She wants to still, because she discovered that humiliating Cedric is the key to getting Voldemort to rule. So we go back to the third task, which is back to the killer hedges from the movie, which is stupid. What are you following? The books and the movies. And Albus and Scorpius stop her. But then she realizes that a better idea is to go all the way back to 1981 to stop Voldemort from ever attacking her, which is an interesting idea. And now Scorpius and Albus are stuck back in 1981. And they have to somehow tell Harry where they are. And Albus remembers that earlier when Harry gave him the baby blanket, he accidentally destroyed it almost by knocking into a love potion that Ron gave him as a gag gift, because Ron of all people is going to go around giving love potion for a gag gift. Now he puts this chemical or some sort of ingredient on the blanket that will react with the ingredients in the love potion, so he can put out a message on the blanket that Harry conveniently sees. And Malfoy conveniently has a time turner that works better, because the original one they had, was a prototype that was being made for Lucius Malfoy, who didn't use it anyway because he decided he likes a Voldemort-free world. So why does he have a time turner made? I don't know. They use it to go back. This one's not for 5 minutes. This one stay there. So let's just explain how you get back. Now they go back. They realize what she's planning to do. So use transfiguration to transform Harry into Voldemort. Which is interesting. Ron first volunteers as he's less intense than the others, to which I refer back to Deathly Hallows in the locket. You're wrong, Ron. Now, the plan is for Harry to lure Delphi into a church so they can all gang up on her and take her out. But Delphi catches on once they're in the church, and she realizes what's going on, and she magically locks the doors. So 4 full-grown witches and wizards, Hermione, Ron, Ginny, and Malfoy, Draco Malfoy, are stopped by a door. A door. There's so many ways around this. There's Alohomora. There's just blasting the door open. And then there's apparition. It makes no sense. It's so stupid. But the beginning piece always goes through a tunnel, going through a grate, a vent, comes back out and uses a little more on the other side. Apparently, couldn't use it on the outside. So dumb. Man, how they defeat Delphi. Then we get the best scene in the book, actually, is Harry having to watch his parents be killed again, but this time having his friends with them to witness it together. It was a good scene. I really liked the scene. I realized why. It's because it's the only part that J.K. Rowling wrote because it's from the books. It's like using the same dialogue and everything. But yeah, they go back, it's mended, and Albus and Harry have a better relationship now. When I first finished reading this, I thought it was okay, but then the more I think about this book, it's so bad. It's bad fan fiction. It's lousy. If you're a big Harry Potter fan like me, pick it up and read it. For the most part, it's just not good. The characters are portrayed poorly. Hermione's too much of Mary Sue. Ron's too much of a goof. Harry's kind of an asshole. I don't understand why he has a great relationship with his other 2 kids, but terrible with Albus, but we don't even see his other kids barely. We see, in the beginning, none of it, Rose is there. Rose, Hermione and Ron's daughter, who's kind of a bitch, kind of stuck up. Somebody's biased, racist, biased against Slytherins. So that's the kind of child Hermione would raise. Let's see what else. We do get the joy of McGonagall ripping into Hermione for being stupid enough to just hide tucked in her bookcase. That was great. He tried to make a parallel between Cedric dying and a kid that Albus knows being killed by Delphi, but it doesn't work because we barely see this kid in the play. We don't connect to him as much as we connected with Cedric. To sum it up, it's bad fanfiction. It's lousy. Not much else I can say about it. I think that's it. Oh, here's something. Delphi was born just before the Battle for Hogwarts, which means that she's like 23 years old. Harry should be questioning the fact that she's supposed to be Amos's niece, but he's been told. That is beyond questionable. Because as it turns out, Amos and his wife were both single children. You'd think that Amos lives in a wizard's old people home, and it's amazing. Because it's just old wizards and witches just messing around with magic. And it's awesome. It's one of the best parts. I think people running that would do patient histories, and nobody's a single and only child, and his wife is the only child. This was bad. I don't really suggest too many except for the hardcore Harry Potter fans. If you want. Yeah. It's got J.K. Rowling's name, right? Glorified producer. I'm pretty sure she just okayed stuff. That was it. That's all I gotta say. Bye-bye.